All right, thank you for clicking on the video. We are the real Detroit Lions fans. If you're a Lions fan and you are celebrating that Eagles victory on Sunday, I
Yeah,
want you
baby.
to subscribe. I want you to like this video. I want you to comment. We are, we're out here trying to celebrate and celebrate our victory and our team. And we got to stick together. So I'm always on YouTube looking at all the podcasts. I like every single one of them. Such a homer. But anyway, I mean, let's get right into it. So the Lions pulled the upset victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, 27-24. I know that there's a few different spreads out there. I know the main one was like 7 points, 7-point spread.
It started off at 7 points and only hit about 5.5 coming into the game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so that's a pretty hefty favorability for the Eagles, and we were able to knock them out and take them Philly, and that's a big deal. And we've beaten them the last couple times we faced them, but historically, they usually trample all over us. So
yeah,
sure. and then I know that there was a lot of injuries over there, but we had a couple of guys getting back from injury, and I mean, we were able to capitalize on that and go at those backups that they put in to fill in from those injuries, and I thought we did an excellent job. But let's just dive right into the game. Why don't you give me some takeaways that you got from the game?
I have a lot of takeaways. First off, penalties are killing us. I mean, right off the bat, dude, our defense got Philly to like 3rd and 5 situation, 3rd and 8 situation, stuff like that. And every time it was a 3rd down, somehow, some way, penalty flag was thrown. So we're just extending their drives, allowing them to continue, get points. I know if it wasn't for a couple of the flags throughout the entire game, they wouldn't have been able to continue a couple of their drives that actually resulted in points. So the countless flags was a big takeaway. And I know everyone's thinking, oh, we didn't get that face mask penalty. But to be fair, that would have never been the case if they didn't call an imaginary offsides on us on a kickoff. So
yeah, that was absolutely non-existent. That was BS.
Exactly. So, I mean, to be fair, that was awful on the refs for not seeing that, but it wouldn't have even happened if they didn't screw us on the call right before that. So I don't feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't even a pivotal moment of the game. So honestly, both of those penalties, when they're coming on special teams, like, I know, like, honestly, it's funny because last week we were talking about special teams penalties, but yeah. I would 10 times out of 10 rather get a special teams penalty than a regular penalty because at the end of the day, you're still starting 1st and 10. You know what I mean? You have 10 yards till your 1st down. So you're like, you can make that back up pretty easily. But if you get it hit during the game with a penalty that might not have been there or a missed call or whatever it is, then you're talking about like a 1st and 25 situation or something like that. And you're not coming back from that. Rarely. You rarely are.
It would have gave them 10 more I can't remember if a face mask is 10 yards or 15 yards, but it would have just changed their field position. And like I said, they shouldn't have even been put in that situation, but whatever. Big takeaway, our receivers made some huge plays.
awareness was very good, and he's, clearly able to dodge defenders and run around, which we knew he could. This dude is one of the best when it comes to running out of the pocket and throwing from those weird angles. His arm just. Yeah, he usually just drops it right on the money. And we saw that with that Marvin Jones touchdown. Stafford, that was a perfect throw. I don't think I've ever seen a Stafford touch throw. You know how he's changed his way. Like usually, sometimes he does those like Stafford lasers where it's like, pew, like right at you. But then the other times, nowadays he's kind of like he does those little touch throws where it's like a perfect, lob, so that it lands gently into their hands. Yeah, he did one of those perfectly for the Marvin Jones touchdown. It landed right into his grasp, and it was just right out of the defender's reach. I thought it was amazing. So Stafford's on point as usual. Didn't make any mistakes, which I loved. It's fine when he missed some passes. It's fine for mistakes that he makes sometimes. Either like choosing to throw it when he shouldn't throw it and force a pass, or if he might hold on to it a little too long, get taken down for a sack. And
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Sorry. So he actually had two somewhat big mistakes in the game that might have been overlooked. The first one was that big double, what's it called? Double move play by Marvin Jones, when he separated the cornerback and the safety. He had so much room to go, and he had momentum.
But to come back, yeah.
Stafford underthrew it. And then another play on third down, Stafford rolled out of the pocket, has Marvin Jones wide open, and he significantly underthrew the ball, and it like bounced into Jones' hands. If you remember the plan point.
Totally. That would have iced the game. That would have ended the game pretty much, right?
But Stafford,
we got the first down. But here's the problem with that, okay? It was a very difficult throw, okay? Definitely he didn't plant his foot, which was the problem, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
He was trying to do some like Mahomes type no look sidearm, you know what I mean? Like, and I'd rather have had a better throw there for sure. But at the same time, and this is where we're gonna get into some of the negatives, like. You said that they changed up their play calling and their defensive scheming, but not as much as Arizona and like whatever. I totally disagree. I think that they messed up. I don't like that they did that. They definitely gave them a chance to come back, and with their offensive and defensive scheming, because with their offense, it's time to run down this clock. But you can end this game with a touchdown, And they did take a couple shots downfield, But once it got closer and closer to the end of the game, they started doing that run. Okay, now it's third and long. Let me throw it. You know what I mean? And now the defense is playing the sticks. They know exactly where they need to go. And first down, it's really hard to get it at that point. Why?
Yeah,
because it's not like it was working, because we did it like a couple drives in a row. And like, their defense knew it, and they were rushing us, putting so much pressure on us with a blitz. Jim Schwartz was blitzing, and like that's rare and everything. So I guess maybe they thought he wasn't going to blitz, but he was. He's blitzing on first and second down. We weren't getting anything by running it. We got like a minute off the clock, and then we had to punt it. How many drives in a row in the fourth quarter? Like what are you guys doing? And just because they end up. Yeah, and like, okay, so now I guess we're going to get into some of the negatives of the game. You know what? One more amazing positive is obviously the redemption of Jamal Agnew. It's like Red Dead Redemption, but like Honolulu Blue Redemption. So stupid. But listen. Dude. Everybody was like, yo, cut this guy, man. Stephon Logan again. Dude, they trusted their players. They knew that this guy, he made the Pro Bowl, a couple years ago, and he's an explosive guy. They're like, no, we trust him. Just make sure he holds onto the ball and everything. And he held on to that distance. And so, you know what, my friend who's an Eagles fan was telling me, oh, no, there was a block in the back that they didn't call. And apparently some people on ESPN were saying it as well. But, like, I don't give a fuck. Go Agnew.
Dude, hell yeah, bro. And, like, the momentum that we have going into the Kansas City game is great. You know, everyone's just happy. You know, every player that wasn't playing well, they had big games. Like, it was a good morale booster. So I was like, dude, this was fantastic.
Okay, so all right, yeah. So let's get into some of the negatives. So, like, okay, so time of possession, Eagles beat us on time of possession. They beat us on total yards. They beat us on rushing and passing yards. They beat us on first down. They beat us on everything. Pretty much, they beat us on penalties. The only thing they didn't beat us on is turnovers, okay? And they had some huge turnovers in the game. And this has caused a lot of people to really underrate this Lions team because the same thing happened with the Chargers. Do they really deserve this win? You know, because they were the underdogs and they got it because of the mistakes of the other team. Well, to be honest with you guys, like, if this was another team, if this was the Packers, you know.
Oh, they made the biggest play of the game, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, if this was the Packers or something, nobody would be saying that. They would have said, oh, well, you know, Aaron Rodgers was able to capitalize on your team's mistakes and, you know, your team, the teams that are winners overcome the mistakes. That's exactly what we heard for how many years when we were getting the short end of the stick on some stupid. Yeah. And then somebody else said, oh, my God, well, you know, Carson Wentz had to deal with 7 drops. 7 drops? That would have been a good day for Stafford like a few years ago. When he, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He had the most, how many was that, 3 years in a row, Lions had the most dropped catchable balls? Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. And it was like when you look at their completion percentage, Stafford was the middle of the pack, mediocre. Yeah. But then when you look at their adjusted completion percentage, which takes away catchable drops, he was like number 2 in the league. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying Carson Wentz anything like that because Stafford didn't deserve it when it was happening to him. But look, it's a team effort. Wins aren't a quarterback stat. They're not.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous to look at it like that. And who's to say, like, if those turnovers weren't committed, that we wouldn't have played more aggressive? You know, it would have changed the whole dynamic of the game, and who knows where we would have been. But we know where we did end up, and that was with the W. You know, because of some of the mistakes that they made on their team. I'm totally happy and cool with that. It does bring on some just like key concerns. What are we gonna do when we're not the beneficiaries of a team's misfortunes? You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna happen when Kansas City rolls through and they're not gonna commit penalties, or like they might not commit turnovers? Are we just gonna get rolled over? So it's going to be really exciting to see. Like, what do you think about that?
I'm going to touch off the miss fallacies first. I mean, I know you're saying the Eagles shot themselves in the foot, and the Eagles had a lot of injuries, and this and that. So, first off, we had multiple starters go down during the game that we didn't expect. So we had the next man up. They slept up. Dude, Slay, Mike Daniels, and Amendola, they all got hurt, you know? So, like, and even Hawkinson took a really bad hit to the knee, but he came up. So, I mean, overall, dude, like, they had their injuries. I mean, you lose Darius Slay on the outside. Like,
we had Mike Ford stepping in. Ford, this guy's like a practice squad guy. Exactly. He was a AAF guy.
Exactly. So, like, for me, everyone's saying, oh, our whole team was riddled with injuries, and we had fumbles and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, first of all, we caused all your fumbles defensively besides the one where Aguilar just dropped the damn ball. So I don't want to hear that. We also had no calls against Stafford getting drilled into the ground, which nobody's talking about, but the one time Trey Flowers rolls a couple yards because he got shoved to the ground and barely touches Wentz, they converted a 3rd down into a 1st down because of the penalty. They didn't get the completion or get the 1st down. It's because of the penalty. So, like, yeah, we got the no call on the return, but, like, we also didn't get calls hitting our quarterback, and they not only tackled him way after the play, but they went full body weight on the quarterback, which is illegal now, and stuff like that. So as far as, like, the Eagles you're not going to get lucky with the fumbles and whatever. We're not going to get lucky with a wide receiver just dropping the ball, but like we also caused other fumbles. You know, we like picked up our defense even after we lost starters, you know, and it's like, I don't know, like I don't really care for the whole, the Lions got lucky with this penalty and that penalty, because they also got extremely lucky for calls and no calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we got lucky with injuries on their team, and they got lucky with injuries. Like you're not gonna tell me that Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson are that much more game changing than Darius Slay and Mike Daniels. You know, that's not like. And then Deshaun Hand's not even our starting edge rusher. Like
exactly. So we don't have Hand. We don't have Mike Daniels. Okay. Like we had a lot of injuries. So, anyways,
let's talk about something. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're fine. I have to move on to something that I was really concerned about. Philly's game plan for our defense was freaking brilliant. I don't know if other people noticed, but our strength is not our depth at cornerback, let alone with Darius Slay hurt. And what did the Eagles do? They spread 5 wide almost the entire freaking game. And that was murdering us because it was all man-to-man, and they had everyone running routes against us. There wasn't really a running back in the backfield and a tight end on the line to where, you know, you can have 2-3 linebackers in the middle of the field, you know, controlling the whole midfield. It was everyone spread out. Now what's happening? We have running backs being guarded by our linebackers out wide. And like not only that, we're going to like 4 cornerbacks on top of 2 safeties. I don't know about you, but like I'm not confident.
And we're fourth double team Zach Ertz, yeah.
Exactly. And so when you put all that together, what happened? Wentz was able to run up the middle, key first down, touchdown, shit like that. So like, dude, the game plan against us, they need to adjust for that from Mahomes, because Mahomes has freaking McCole Hardman, and that's why I'm transitioning to Kansas City. They got McCole Hardman. They got Sammy Watkins. They have Travis Kelce. McCoy's fucking killing it, and they don't even run the ball. You know, they have Demarcus Robinson. They have so many speedy guys, and we're most likely not playing with Slay this game. So if they spread us out wide, which is exactly what they do in their offense, it's not going to look pretty. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know we're home and whatever, like, and the Eagles we were away, but they had injuries and this and that. Dude, like, it's not going to look pretty if they copy the Eagles blueprint, because they execute at the top level. And the Eagles, you know, they're real with injuries and whatever, but like, it's not going to be pretty if the same thing happens, because no mistakes are going to get made. Kansas City, I mean, the dude, Mahomes has 10 touchdowns in 3 games. He has almost 1,000 yards passing. They versed the Ravens, who are a pretty good defensive team, and made them look like shit. And they kind of pulled off towards the end. So, I mean, like, slowed down towards the end, like, kind of on purpose. I seemed like it felt like they kind of were just trying to get the clock to run out. But, like, I don't know. You put all that together and whatever, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna transition to something that's probably the main disappointment in my mind, and just in general, just an inexcusable part of our team, and that's the defensive line. Man. Man. Like, we've been bringing this up past 2 weeks, dude. We've put so much into this line, so much investment into this line. Dude, Trey Flowers, where is this man? The only time I heard his name was when he got the freaking the roughing the passer call. Where is this man? What is he doing? Where is he? He could literally not even. He couldn't have. He might not even have been in Philly if it wasn't for that roughing the passer call. This dude is irrelevant in the game. We paid him $90 million. What the heck, dude? And then Snacks, we're not even eating up the run like the end of last year. We're not even eating up the run. Snacks, Harrison, and Ace. Yeah, we're getting destroyed. I'm not gonna lie to you. We were up by like 10 points. I think we were up by 10 points. And it was when they were running with Jordan Howard, dude. I thought it was over. I thought it was over. I was like, we have no answer to stop Jordan Howard right now. And then they just stopped doing it.
I think they just worried about wasting too much time. But honestly, if they just played normal and they ran as much as they would have killed us, because our run defense can't stop anybody.
Yeah. They straight up would have killed us. And then they started running. But that's the thing. They started running with Miles Sanders. It's not like they were only passing to him. So they were running with Miles Sanders. And that wasn't working. And that caused 2 turnovers. Or that caused 1 and almost 2 turnovers. So it's like, dude, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Where is the pass rush? Where and like you could say here's the thing, if our run defense was great, you could say, oh no, they're doing a good job, they're filling their gaps. So it's like, oh well, they're containing and they're making sure Wentz isn't running and they're making sure. But no, Wentz ran when he wanted to. Jordan Howard ran all over us when he had the opportunities. It's just so concerning. But then like, I mean, we won, so it's like, can I really complain about it? But then it's like, dude, oh my God,
have a better win. It shouldn't be, damn, now I'm worried that they're going to kick a field goal and tie the game, or they're going to drive down the field and score. Like, we're putting ourselves in bad positions because we're not executing at a level we should be. And I get it. Flowers had a shoulder surgery, and like, dude, it's hard to recover from a shoulder surgery when you're playing DN and like tackle, which is both Decker and Flowers' situation. But like, I knew Flowers coming in was not going to have a 15-sack season. He wasn't going to have probably a 13 or 12-sack season. But what I did expect was him pressuring the quarterback, which is what he was good at. He's not a big statistical defensive end. I'm going to bring the pressure. I'm going to play smart. I'm going to stop the run type DN. They're not doing any of that. Snacks is not a pass-rushing defensive tackle. Ashawn is not a pass-rushing defensive tackle. Okwara, I mean, he's all right, but he's not like any of the top DNs in the league, whatever. Like, when you put all that together, it's showing that, we don't have a pass rushing D line, but I thought we would have a very good run stopping D line, and that's not the case. So I don't know, if it was because of them all coming off injuries or like, Snacks wanted his contract extension, so he wasn't at camp, so they're all behind schedule. I'm hoping that's the case, because then in a couple weeks we should be fine. It'll even out. But if it's not, we're screwed. You can't stop the run. Teams that can run the ball are going to take advantage of that, and then they're going to pick you off in the secondary because you're so worried about the run. So
yeah, and hopefully, Deshaun Hand comes back and he helps too. But like, how much can you rely on this young player? Like that's not what we're aiming for. It should be like we talked about before, next man up. Like, we should be at least stopping the run if we're not getting any sort of pass. Because really, Wentz had all day to throw. And that's another thing that like Eagles, they're like, oh, so many drops. Bro, Wentz literally had like a month to throw, dude. He's not going to have that with any other team. Like literally any team, or even our team on any other if we had, I don't know, man. I don't know. It looked like the worst pass rush in the NFL. And that's terrible.
I mean, it can't get worse than not having any pressure. And when the pocket finally did collapse, they left the entire middle of the offensive line open. So pretty much all the DNs were behind. I mean, not the ends, just the D linemen were like either to the side of Wentz or behind. So he just ran up the middle and would get a huge gain, because then we're spread on the wide receivers and tight ends. So it's like, dude, if you guys are going to contain, collapse the pocket from the front, force him outside. That's where errors are made. That's when quarterbacks do dumb crap, whatever. Like, dude, collapse the middle of the pocket. And if you're going to do that, cool. You send someone on the DN to push him one way or something. Like, they have to get better with their D-line. Like, it's really bad right now. And Kansas City is going to take advantage of that.
So, I mean, all in all, we wish the win was better. But a win's a win. We're going to take it. And honestly, going into week four undefeated, I never thought that would happen. I would not have predicted that. Obviously I would have predicted, we have a chance against the Chargers. We have a chance against the Eagles. But I wouldn't have put my life savings on it or anything like that. It's very surprising. And if we're competitive against the Chiefs at home, then this team really is showing promise, and I can't complain about that. I will be very happy about that, especially with our first starting with a tie against Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because we should have walked away with a victory, been 3-0. Then a loss wouldn't have hurt as bad. But we're going in 2-0-1, and honestly, in the first 5 games, I expected to have 2 losses or 3 losses. But I expected to win against the Cardinals, and the Chargers were more of the game that I thought would be more of a gimme game because it's our home opener, and the Eagles have so many playmakers, and Kansas City and then Green Bay. But I didn't expect the Eagles to have injuries and, all those crazy fumbles and whatever. So the fact that we're 2-0-1, we don't have a loss going to Kansas City, that is huge because our toughest part of the schedule is these first 6 games. So, I am happy as hell, If
but it is
Green Bay at their home, too, on top of what we're doing, dude, I mean, that's freaking huge.
The sky's the limit at that point. But definitely, I wanna say to definitely temper expectations because it is a tale of 2 stories. Like it's 2 narratives that you could easily derive from these games, right? Like you could say, "Wow, can't believe the Lions are doing this great." Like they can definitely, be competitive against Kansas City and maybe get the upset in Lambeau, and then, we could be the top of the division and we're competing for the division. This looks amazing. But then again, you could literally look at it the opposite way and say, we failed to close against Arizona, ended with a tie against arguably the worst team in the league. We faced the injury-riddled Chargers, which they made a bunch of mistakes, and we squeaked out a win at home. Eagles, same thing. They almost came back and won, and they easily could have won if Goddard didn't drop it in the end zone or a number of other things that could have happened.
Yeah.
So it's a tale of 2 narratives, and how do you want to phrase it? So it's like I just don't want to disappoint myself, and I don't want the fans to be just as disappointed as I usually am every single year.
I mean,
do you have anything else to close this? Because
okay, as far as Kansas City goes, I'm going to the game again, so 2 home games.
Nice.
Dude, I'm super hyped. Being able to see Mahomes is going to be terrific. I'm going.
See Mahomes lose is going to be terrific.
Yeah. I'm going to run around naked or something. I don't even know. I'm going to get so drunk. It's
all right. Look out for Andrew naked on the news.
Yeah, right. Anyways, I mean, it's going to be a great game. I think the home crowd coming in with a win. Hopefully they're loud. I know I'm going to get my section hype. I'm going to have them on their feet screaming, dude, that home crowd effect. But I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, a win as a team would even be like a single-point loss against Kansas City because to me, if you can hold Kansas City to single-point victory, that's huge. I would love for them to win. I don't expect them to win because Kansas City is looking like the most dominant team alongside with the Patriots. But if we can squeak by a win, dude, that changes everything. I mean, you beat Kansas City, you beat the Eagles, you beat the Chargers. I don't give a shit about the Cardinals. But that would be huge. And we would go into our bye week right after that. We could get a little bit healthier with, a couple of injuries we have going on. I'm optimistic because there's no team that is just unbeatable. That's why no team has ever gone.
Yeah, any given Sunday.
Yeah, so I'm really excited, dude. If we can fucking make turnovers happen, like I said, it's always whoever wins a turnover game usually wins a game. They don't make mistakes. We have to make them make mistakes. So, rooting for my life.
There you go. Yeah, man. We are. We're gonna face the gold standard. Let's see if Matt Patricia can pull a rabbit out of his hat this time. All right. Yeah. Well, that's all we got for you guys. We're gonna post another video up soon about what you can look forward to, what the division looks like, and what Kansas City might look like next week. So if you're a Lions fan, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys. And one pride.